I am back with my Premier League predictions. I have not done one of these since the opening day, as I have only had time to record EFL Championship videos, but we are back after the second international break of the season, and here are my Game Week 9 score predictions of the 2023/24 Premier League season. We start off with a very big one, the Merseyside derby, 12:30 on Saturday, Liverpool against Everton. And for me, there's only one winner. Liverpool in their last game picked up a 2-2 draw against Brighton. Everton picked up a nice comfortable 3-0 win against Bournemouth. But as I said, I can only see the one winner in this game, and I'm going to go for a Liverpool victory. It just depends on how many I think they can score. I'm going to go for a high scoreline here, 4-0 to start off the week. Next up, we move to the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth are taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Bournemouth, as I just mentioned above, 3-0 defeat against Everton in their last game. Wolverhampton Wanderers, they've picked up a few good results as of late. A 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, a 2-1 victory against Manchester City. They are some very top teams that Wolves have done well to compete against. Bournemouth need to bounce back though. They're at home at this one. I can see both sides picking up a point. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. Wolverhampton Wanderers will certainly be looking to come to this game to pick up all 3 points after their past couple of games. But I just think Bournemouth, they're gonna want some points badly, and still yet without a victory so far this season. So I'm going to go 1-1 for this one. We move on now to the Brentford Community Stadium, where Brentford are taking on Burnley. Brentford so far not had the greatest of seasons compared to the previous couple they've had in the Premier League. Their opponents, Burnley, not doing too great either. Brentford, 2-1 defeat against Manchester United in their last game. Really unlucky. Led 1-0 for the majority of that game. Only then Scott McTominay came on and scored 2 goals in extra time, and United ended up getting all 3 points. But Brentford are at home in this game. I think they'll score some goals against this Burnley side. I'll back both sides to score, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 home win for Brentford in this one. Next up, onto the Etihad, where Manchester City are taking on Brighton Hove Albion. Manchester City losing to Arsenal in their last game. Prior to that, losing to Wolverhampton Wanderers. They are going to lose at some point, but at the end of the day, Manchester City, they're still Manchester City. I expect Brighton to go to the Etihad and give it a good go. Picked up a 2-2 draw against Liverpool in their last game, and they've had a really good start to the season so far. I think it'll be close, as I said, but I'm just going to edge this game to the citizens, and I'll say 2-1 home victory in this one. We move on to St James's Park, where Newcastle United are taking on Crystal Palace. This one's going to be a good one, because Newcastle United, they haven't been awful. I suppose they have had a pretty tough start to the season with playing the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. They have shown their quality, putting 8 past Sheffield United. Obviously, we've been in Europe this season. I feel like that could slow their progress down in the Premier League, as they would want to focus on the Champions League. I don't think that they'll finish in an awful position. I just don't feel like that Newcastle will be able to finish top 4 again this season. But I expect them to pick up all 3 points against Crystal Palace. It'll be a tight one in the end, but I'll go for a Newcastle United home win. So fully expect the home support to get behind the team in this one. Onto the City Ground next, where Nottingham Forest are taking on Luton Town. Nottingham Forest, 2 draws in their last couple of games. They picked up a 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace in their last game. Prior to that, a 1-1 draw with Brentford. As for Luton Town, I fully expect them to get relegated come the end of the season, but they haven't been doing that bad recently. 1-0 defeat against Tottenham in their last game. They did pick up a 2-1 victory against Everton, managed to get a 1-1 draw against Wolves. I'm going to back Luton Town to pick up another point in this game. I am going to go for quite a few goals in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And then we move on to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea against Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal or Tottenham fan, this is the time to be playing this struggling Chelsea side. Although in the last couple of games, they have shown that they can score goals, quite a lot of them as well. They did beat Fulham 2-0 in that other derby game. Most recently beat Burnley 4-1. Could say They are facing lower oppositions, but they can score goals. They have shown what they can do. I just feel like this game, especially with Arsenal's start to the season, this one's going to come a bit too soon for Chelsea. I think it'll be a close game. Pochettino, I feel, is going to turn this Chelsea team around. But I'm going to go for an Arsenal away win in this one. I think it'll be very close. I'll just go for the narrow 1-0 Arsenal win. I think at the moment against this Arsenal side, they will struggle to score against Arsenal and they'll just miss out on keeping a clean sheet. But it should be a good game. I definitely expect loads of chances, some big fights. I'll definitely be tuning into this one. We move on to Bramall Lane, where Sheffield United are taking on Manchester United. Sheffield United still yet to win so far this season. 4 defeats on the bounce now. Their most latest, a 3-1 defeat against Fulham. Their opponents, Manchester United, haven't had the greatest of seasons so far. Just narrowly beat Brentford 2-1. I do fancy the Red Devils to pick up all 3 points in this one. I'll go for a comfortable 2-0 away win in this one. We now move on to the final 2 fixtures of this game week. Next up, we have got Aston Villa against West Ham United. Both sides have had a fantastic start to their season. The favourites are Aston Villa for this one, maybe because of home advantage, but this one is going to be a very, very close game. Both Aston Villa and West Ham have beat Brighton this season, and Brighton's 2 defeats came against these 2 sides. West Ham picked up a 2-2 draw against Newcastle United in their last game. Aston Villa picked up a 1-1 draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's going to be a close one, as I said, but I am going to go against the favourites for this one, and I am going to back the away side to pick up all 3 points in a 2-1 away win for the Hammers. We finish off at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Tottenham are taking on Fulham. This one is going to be another great game. Tottenham, the top of the table, undefeated so far this season. You will fully expect them to at least pick up a point in this game. Fulham are going to have to make it really tough for Tottenham, like they did against Arsenal in that 2-2 draw earlier on this season. And again, I could probably expect this game to end in a draw as well and Fulham to frustrate Tottenham in this game. But I am just going to edge it to the home side. Tottenham have had an amazing run of games, so I'll just edge them to pick up all 3 points in this one, in a 2-1 home win. And that wraps up my Game Week 9 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and I will see you all in my next video.